Hi everyone, my name is Romy and welcome back to Make Something with Romy. So, usually in this channel, we cover all the things you can make without knowing how to design or code. But today, instead of doing that, I want to share some really exciting news with all of you. Alright, are you ready for this? Okay, here it goes. So, Atto, an accelerator which helps female founders start companies, has asked me to join their team for the next 3 months to help their founders build things without code. Essentially, kind of what I was doing on the YouTube channel anyway. I actually get to work in person with people to help their ideas come to life. Isn't that so exciting? Oh my god, I can't wait to get started. Before we get started, a couple of things. First, I will definitely still keep doing videos. I mean, look, I love doing these videos and I'll be able to vlog some of my experience with the team and maybe share some stories from founders actually building products. Finally, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you. This would have not happened without your support. Kate, the founder, actually approached me after seeing these YouTube videos, which is so cool. So in today's video, instead of building anything, I thought, why not chat with Kate, the founder of Atto? It'd be great to get her thoughts on how she created this position for me in the first place, and also her general thoughts on the maker movement of all the people who are building things without code. All right, keep watching. I'm going to go and start a Zoom with Kate right now. Kate is currently the founder and program director of Atto, which is an accelerator she runs. And she's based in Australia. Prior to that, she was the founder of Fetch, an online community for professionals to get to know events, and also the founder of CloudPeeps, a marketplace for freelancers. And I have known Kate for many years. Kate, do you remember how many years it has been?
I think it would be 6, 7, maybe 2014, 2013 or
that
something.
Yeah, I think maybe we met in the Visually office.
Yeah, I think I was waiting to meet someone, and then I was sitting in an office chair on the kind of station, the workstation, and then you were there and we just started chatting, and then it was, we're chatting about operations and things like that. And it was amazing. Yeah. So that would have been 2014, I think.
2014. That's awesome. That's awesome. One thing which I love what you're doing with Atto is you're focused on female founders. I haven't personally seen any female founder accelerators here. I've seen women VCs who say they are more focused on women, but not exclusively female founder accelerators. And you're actually putting your money behind what you're talking about, which very rarely people do,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And time, right? It's all of that stuff. I mean, it wasn't my goal to go, I want to start an accelerator, because I do think the accelerator market is saturated in terms of traditional accelerators. But then the problem that I was noticing still is that when you are starting out, or you are kind of an early stage female founder, and it's, you're still cut off a bit because you might not have traction and be able to apply to accelerator. You might not have a technical co-founder, so you might kind of be subtly disqualified from something like a Y Combinator. You might not know what even really what a tech startup is. You've got a really awesome idea and it's scalable and it could be, but you just don't have the vernacular or the network. And part of my journey was also moving from Silicon Valley, epicenter tech, to now a small region in Australia, and wanting to prove out that you can be remote and you can build a great company no matter where you are. And so that's where I think a lot of female founders, if you have kids, you can't pack your whole family up and pull them out of school and move to Mountain View or move to New York. I don't think you have to do that anymore to make those level of sacrifices. And that's why actually I say it's a new school, because so much of the industry, I'm just this is old school. Why are we working like this? So it's really a point of difference to say, yes, we are for all founders. We'd like every female founder. We'd like to democratize entrepreneurship so it is accessible to any female founder. You can actually start today making money and building a product and getting users. That take it back into the own hands. You don't need anyone else's permission to do this. I'm really excited about this, as you already know, about working with female founders as a no-code EIR. But I would just love to ask you why
why did you decide to have like someone on the team in the first place? Because this is so unique, and this is the first time I've ever heard of it.
Yeah, so it's something that when I make these decisions, it's quite organic. It's about going, okay, well, what are our needs and how can we fulfill those needs? And part of Atto is championing the no-code movement in order to build an MVP and help female founders build companies. And so I was just thinking, okay, well, the no-code movement it's quite, when you're getting started, it's hard to know all the tools out there. And there's a new tool every day that you see on like product launching and things like that. So I was like, we need someone who's got the finger on the pulse, who is understands like all the different options, and then can help mentor the founders and say, have you thought about XYZ when it comes to building this MVP? Or I think you really need this platform here. And that's why I was like, well, we really need someone on the team that can do office hours and help the founders make those decisions. Because we're doing it in 12 weeks, it is a short period of time. So they don't have time to go spend, a year learning all the potential options. And that's why I approached you about becoming our EIR, because I just thought what you're doing with the YouTube channel as well, and just sharing the knowledge from a really open and accessible way, is very female founder friendly.
But in general, like being able to like make things and prototype things without knowing how to code is so powerful, because personally, like it's so important as an early founder to be able to move quickly. And even if you outsource it, it's a lot of money, but the ability to move as quickly does not happen. So I love that if you aren't technical, you can at least prototype some of these things yourself. So tell me, just going back to Fetch, how did you end up building it out?
Yeah, so we ended up doing like a series of Campaign Monitor email digests across different clients, different cities they were. And then in 2014, we actually raised a crowdfunding campaign of $55,000 to go build the event app. And so we went away then and did that for about a year.
Yes.
And it was funny because I relaunched the Fetch this year to focus on virtual events only because of COVID. And then I built an event app in Glide using a Google spreadsheet for the event submissions in like an hour. And then I just thought how funny the industry's changed in just 5 years from, having to raise a crowdfunding campaign to go away and build this for many months. And then now I can like flip up an app with similar functionality in a couple of hours.
Exactly. That's what I think. First of all, like I think what you said, even the stuff you did, the Campaign Monitor, it is all no code, except it didn't have a term at that point, right? And it's just this no code term has started coming like 2 or 3 years ago, and now it is exploded because now there's so many tools specifically labeled as no code. But just the ability to be able to make things without code, I think has been there for many years.
I mean, when I was building out newsletters, and people would say, oh, that's really cute, you run a newsletter. Like it wasn't, running a global tech startup. It was, oh, okay, it has a little newsletter. But now I feel like because of no code and MVPs and more knowledge around lean startups, you can start something very small and meaningful that grows. And, people can see that big vision, and it doesn't have to be like, oh, you're running a lifestyle business and you're running a little newsletter kind of thing.
Exactly. And in no means Fetch was a little newsletter. How many subscribers did you grow to, Kate?
Around 100,000, and
100,000.
It's still growing. It's still growing now. We're also targeted it's quite funny, by a lot of spammers. So now I've got like a spam challenge on scale as well. So it's just all sorts of challenges as a founder.
I would say probably less than 1% of all newsletters become like that scale of even 100,000. So even getting to 100,000 is like no small feat. I mean, we are seeing right now with the rise of Substack, people are making a living of like, a lifestyle business of just 100,000 people.
Yeah. And that shows how much the industry's changed in the past decade as well, that now there is this like micro creator, what I call the indie founder as well, who can kind of go out there and sell products online. And it's not always about having to go raise, series A, B, C. I think that's one of the things with Atto that I really like, is that we really want to kind of democratize entrepreneurship through the no-code movement and make it accessible to anyone, no matter where they are.
Because building products is expensive, and it's a very expensive mistake to make. Usually you need so many iterations to get to that right fit. And you just want to do it when you kind of feel like there's a certain level of traction and that you are sure that is the direction you want to go.
Yeah, it's funny with Cloud Peeps, that was the same way that when it launched, it was a Twitter bootstrap site with 2 buttons, become a freelancer or hire a freelancer. And there were literally mail 2 links that would just click through and go to an email
No
address.
way. I did not know that. So it was, you literally just had like 2 email links, 2 links to like email.
Yeah, it was just mail 2 links that people would click on, and then the rest of it was just a 1-pager. So that was, and we'd all handle it then in using G Suite.
And at what time then, like in Cloud Peeps, did you decide to like invest in code?
Probably about 9 months later. So we raised around quite quickly. I think, you don't always need all these marketplace features or platform features to kind of start making revenue.
I'm just curious now, what point of revenue were you when you decided to like start like coding?
Well, I think then it would have been about like 30K MRR or something like that.
Oh my God, that is awesome. So like, that's just how you can take it. How far you can take it, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? In today's world, if you start Cloud Peeps today, you could have probably even taken it further, because now you can do user profiles and stuff completely in no code. Yeah. And I love that this new like maker movement without code, without knowing how to code, has also, we've seen this rise of smaller businesses, newsletters, which are lifestyle businesses, just because people are now empowered to build things and realize that they can charge and make money off it. And like, even with a simple card page, you can actually charge products in a few minutes, and it's super simple to set up. So I'm like, because of that, now we are seeing all these micro creators and these indie businesses, like you call them. And I'm curious, like, how is with Atto, are you planning to is your philosophy more towards profitable businesses, or are you letting the businesses decide whether they want to go take the VC route or not?
Yeah, so, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about, say, calling a business an indie business rather than a bootstrap business, because I'm not opposed to raising capital. And I actually think there's a lot of good capital and really great angels and VCs around now that are sophisticated to work with, and that are progressive as well when it comes to female founders. It's come along a long way since, I was raising when they were like, you're a woman, like, weird kind of thing. That's the beautiful thing about it now. So with Atto, I am focused on what I call indie businesses, but those indie businesses can focus on profitability and be sustainable in their own right. Or they can go on to like apply to Y Combinator or Start Made in Australia and then raise funding if they want to kind of go that pathway. But all in all, I think it's important to, as they scale, to maintain indie values. So that's like it's not about growth at all costs. It's about unit economics that actually work. It's about building a product that customers are really, really happy about and evangelical. Yeah, absolutely. And if you solve those things early, instead of what I was seeing in San Francisco in about 2015 with the on-demand peak economy, it was just everyone was just like, let's throw money at it and acquire customers and lose, $10 for each customer we acquire. And it just didn't seem like it was going to be sustainable. And then the culture and the ethics behind it and everything like that. So that's why I absolutely love what I call the indie way, and really want to champion that more through Atto.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, I remember feeling very disillusioned at that point too, because like you were just seeing startups like just around you, which, they were just growing their sales team, and that's how they were like succeeding, right?
Totally.
And just like sales and, just like, if it was a B2B company, they were just like ramping on sales and sales and sales. And no one really ever talked about like spending or, is this the right thing you're spending on? People would be just like getting fancy office spaces, and no one, even the company, would be thinking, does this make sense on a unit economics basis? And that was like a real problematic area, which I think we're a little bit out of, but I think it's still there, like in quite a few companies.
And I think that what we've seen with Uber and WeWork, just that when you get to that scale, and when you are, you do become one of the most valuable companies in tech. How valuable are you really? And their kind of downfall or recalibration, I think, has started to people at the beginning to say, I don't want to get like that. I don't want to be having a private jet or hot tubs, and I want to be spending the money wisely. And remote work has also had a huge impact on it because people have had to change how they work and really focus on trust and building awesome cultures versus just like what we say in Australia, bums on seats.
Yeah.
That's why I love that it's female founder focus, because they are like, oh, this is a really like, it's not a safe space, but it's a place that they can go and create from. And it's not all about, you have to win and compete against each other to get the money. It's a very collaborative, a peer-to-peer kind of accountability-driven way to build. And that's something that I would have liked starting out. Like, it was only when I started to see other female founders that I thought, oh, hang on a minute, I can do this too. So you kind of need to see the people and be around the people that you identify with to succeed. And there's unique challenges as well. Like, we're both mums now to small, like, well, mine's a toddler, yours still would be, it'd still be a baby.
Very close to be,
very toddler. And it's like, it's just, again, with that, you need to kind of have that environment where you might have a bit more flexibility. And that's like with the Atto program as well. We focus on just lightweight contact hours, so then you can work it around that schedule in your own time. You don't have to quit your job to go through Atto, and you don't have to, say, oh, I've got caregiving responsibilities, I've got a family, so I can't do it now. It's really about letting the business work around your life and schedule as well. And many startups started that way. They were side projects, or they started out around someone's job, so I think this binary approach to all or nothing with startups isn't true.
I completely agree with that. And I'm so personally passionate about like helping people realize that they can make things without code. So it's just such a unique space. So I'm just so excited to be able to like work with all the founders for the next few weeks.
Yeah, we're very grateful to have you, and hope to expand it. And 2021 should be a big year as well.
I know you have such great plans for expansions. Okay,
hopefully we will be able to come to North America next year and start to localize our batches by region, so that it's in friendly time zones for female founders around the world.
That's awesome. No, I cannot wait. And even during the entire program, at least personally, I'll be like, I'll be sharing some of my learnings with all the viewers as well. So it'll be, I think, a great learning experience for me, and just really excited to help out.
Thanks again. I'm so pumped to have you on board, and the world's first no-code EIR.
Oh my God. This is going to be great.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation. This was super fun for me. Please keep watching these videos and sharing them. It means the world to me to have your support. And this is Romy, and I hope this week you make something. Look, you never know where it may take you. What are you waiting for? Get started.